Hello, this is Chris Norman. Welcome back to the second video of the series. Sorry for the mess here. We're going to talk about the minimum beekeeping equipment you need to kind of get started. And so a few pieces here. One, of course, is the protective equipment you're going to be putting on. Now, of course, in some videos you see ones having no equipment whatsoever, right? Jumping into the hives. We do not recommend doing that. For sure, minimum, you need at least a head veil. But we actually recommend either a full jacket or actually a full suit for that. So a jacket looks like this, obviously, with a veil attached to it. A suit covers, well, as you mentioned, the whole body there. One thing we've found out though is just make sure to either Velcro to make sure they can't crawl up your arms or legs. That kind of helps keep stings from happening there. And of course, you do recommend having gloves. You could use the leather gloves, which works out really nicely. The problem is you can't really feel a lot of what's happening when you're working with the hives. So we use actually disposable gloves. Now you can still be stung with disposable gloves, but it helps you to understand the bees a little more. Once they start headbutting your hands, you kind of know whether or not you need to add more smoke or really just kind of leave them alone. So we recommend disposable. Now the next tool in your toolbox is going to be the smoker. Now again, the smoker, you might have heard of things that if they harm it, they don't harm the honeybees. It really helps them to calm down. Make sure that their pheromones are not signaling. A lot of times the guard bees will actually point their stinger at you and actually create a pheromone saying, hey, attack this person. What the smoker does is actually just make sure that's masks. Makes them a little calmer when you enter their hive. It's going to be your best friend. Of course, along with the smoker is going to be the fuel you use. Now, we actually like burlap. Of course, you have to make sure it has no chemicals in it to harm the honeybees. But burlap is nice. It has a nice, cool smoke and obviously burns very easily. Of course, if you have a pine tree, pine needles are going to be helpful for you. It burns very easily, and make sure, of course, they're dry. We like to keep it in a bucket. That way, no moisture gets inside of that. Last, but certainly not least, is going to be your hive tools. Hive tools help you to get inside the hive, separate propolis, and just make sure you're working inside the colony. There's really two standard hive tools. One is the J hook, and obviously that's also looks like a J. This is nice because you're not going to stab yourself or cut yourself on the end, whereas the standard hive hook has two different areas here. This is really for scraping, and this is for actually prying. So both of these are very, very vital, and we like both of them typically in our operation. So that's it. That's the minimum equipment you need to get started with beekeeping. So we look forward to your journey as you kind of join us and watch these future videos. And so happy beekeeping.